Okay, it's the third weekend in June, and we're going to take a quick look at the garden right now. So we can see it's doing pretty good overall. We haven't had a whole lot of growth in the past week, but we've had a lot of action. So we've still getting peas. Don't know how much longer that'll last, as it's supposed to be going to heat up this week. It's going to be in the 90s and 100s. So I don't think they'll produce much longer, but we'll keep them in there, and then that will be something we'll definitely want to replant, because this row here and along this edge is like one of the most productive spots in the garden. So we'll definitely put something else in there, peppers or tomatoes or who knows what, but we'll get that replanted. But yeah, because the peas are a cold weather crop and they don't do so well when it gets hot, so they'll start producing and we'll pull them out and do something else. So next we have our 4 aromas here, which are looking fantastic, and then if I step back we can see all those delicious fruits. And once again, it's the third week in June, and I've got aroma that looks like this. So what I did this year is I just bought a little 4-pack, planted them in the middle of April, I think, and decided to just chance it in case, they could have frost could have killed them and stuff, but we didn't have that problem, and this was what I'd hoped for, is that we get fruits earlier. So we'll definitely try this experiment next year with more stuff, just because this is looks like it's going to be a very, very good experiment. So if we look here at these plants, these were all, not that big when we bought them, planted in April, middle of April. And then if we look over there at the back wall, those 4 there are a similar variety of the aromas, and they were 4-pack, same size, not very tall, 8 inches or so, planted like a month later. So that's when we normally planted, and these are the ones we planted early. So there's a huge difference, plus the fruit. I mean, I've got half a dozen, half a dozen fruits set on each one of these, and so it's just very different. So I pruned them back, clipped them up, to help them get up off the ground and stay up on the fence there, and hopefully have a nice healthy yield there. And I have a marigold plant that has decided it's going to take root, and for some reason I can't get them to grow very well in the boxes, but when they come up I just let them go. So anyway, it's like that's a plant I will let it live. So we planted some stuff here, I believe, but it didn't come up yet, so probably we'll have to redo that one. And then on our back we've got our beans, our green beans here. It's like one of them got something happened to it. It's all crunchy and probably gonna be dead. The rest are looking good, the green beans. Then we've got our scarlet runner beans, and then our 2 types of hyacinth beans. And the scarlet runners are looking good size. The hyacinth bean, you can see we've got the big purplish leaves on them there, so they're coming up. They do not like the heat at all, so I'm hoping that they will get a little more growth on them before the heat really kicks in, and we'll see how that goes. And then here's our other tomatoes. So these 4 variety here are another paste type tomato. They're called Health Kick variety, and so you can see there is 1 fruit on that one there. I think there's a fruit on there, and there's 1 fruit on there. So once again, the difference is tremendous. That extra time in the ground and growing, 2 fruits versus several dozen on the other variety by planting them early. So anyway, we'll definitely try that. But they're looking good. Prune them up too. This one's not quite big enough to clip very much, but we'll get it up there. And I have 3 other varieties, which I was able to get them up. We are seeing a few little fruits here. I got one right here. I think this is a San Marzano, which is a small plum paste type. And then I don't think we have any other fruits on these guys. It's just other little small tomato fruits type. So we'll just keep looking for them. But I got them, feel better about them, got them pinned up earlier, so this way we won't have the big huge mess. And there's our giant asparagus plant with all of its berries dropping all over the place. Still haven't had a chance to rig something up to get this out of the way, but it's a nice big ferny plant, and just need to kind of contain it, which is still just kills me how much last year it was only a few feet and now just a big thing. So anyway, that's looking good. It's always a struggle with the weeds, but anyway, that's what it is. So then with the rest of the main garden here, we'll take a quick scan here. So what we've got is we have one marigold coming up there. That's good. I like to have those here. It helps repel the pests and it looks pretty. Adds a little variety to the garden. Our 4 Black Beauty eggplant, they're still surviving. They you can see the flower right there. They're not doing the best because they were kind of small when we got them, and then the hailstorm, they didn't really survive well. The squash, you can see, have just gone absolutely bonkers, which is fantastic. You can see here, this is obviously our yellow squash right there. See the little fruit, and they're just growing very well, and that is very good. And then I don't remember which varieties are which, but basically we'll figure it out as they come along. But our 4 squash varieties are doing well. The Black Beauties are doing okay. I might maybe pull one out and replant it with a different one, just to kind of make sure we get some, because the problem is these squash are going to start to grow really fast really soon and take over. So we will monitor that. Here's our other 2 eggplants, Thai Kermit and Masigo. So those are looking good and very strong, and we might get some, if not this variety, but something like this size to plant over there, because you can see there's a huge difference. We bought these at a different place. They were much more mature, so we might get some of those Black Beauty variety of that size to replace that. That way they'll have a good chance against the squash. We still haven't planted anything right here. Got to figure out what we want to do here. Our corn is starting to come up fantastically. It's looking good and strong, and not much to say about that. That's why I like corn. Pretty easy. You don't have to deal with it too much. So over here, this box we have, this is the only place I got the marigolds to come up when I planted them in the corners the first time, and they're coming up there. We have our sweet banana peppers, which looking pretty ragged but surviving. There's some flowers. That plant is very far behind, but it looks like it's going to pull through. Our okra here are doing well. We have a bunch of our Thai basil and regular basil. Some of the second planting, we only have 3 of the soybeans that come up, and then over there we had maybe 4 or 5 of the soybeans on the second planting. So I just don't know what the deal is with them. They just have never come up very well here, so I don't know what the deal is, but I'll have to look more into that sometime next year. So here's our other 4 peppers that we got. They're all looking good. Flowers, we've got some flowers not quite opening. Flowers over there and flowers over here, but no fruits, unlike the ones in the front. So that's exciting. See things growing big and strong first, and then we'll see some fruits and flowers later. So our peas over here, same thing, they're still going, and for now, and we'll be probably shutting down in a little bit. And we've got the spring garden. It's looking a little ragged, parts of it, but still going. Some of these things can survive all summer, like the kale. It's pretty hardy. The chard you can grow all the time, but some of the other greens we've pulled out. The cilantro, we'll have to replant that. It gets too hot and it just bolts. And but our onions are still in here, carrots, and some of the lettuce, but it's kind of getting bitter, so we'll probably get rid of that too. But anyway, we'll soon be clearing this out. We'll be planting some more basil and some other stuff for the spring, and we'll just leave it mostly empty. And then in the fall, right at the end of summer, we'll plant some more of the spring stuff, because usually what you can do is you can plant 2 plantings of the cool weather stuff in the spring, and then in the fall, at the end of summer's fall. That way you can have 2 harvests. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, this is the garden, so we have lots of activity in the tomatoes, and lots of growth in the squash, and everything's going pretty good overall. So we'll just have to keep trucking along and see how things go. Thanks so much for watching.